Hello and welcome to a new video from the Rustic Engineman showing my next project, the Talyllyn Railway of North Wales. Here we see number 2, Dolgoch, which is the first engine I have chosen to work on because I already had a model nearly finished, which has now been altered so that it is completely to scale with accurate measurements done from the actual engine. I spent 5 days at the railway, measuring up locos, buildings, coaches, rolling stock, and taking photos to pretty much everywhere I could take them from. This is going to be a long project. I've been on it 2 weeks already, and so far I have Dolgoch finished and rough models of coach 1, 2 and 3 which need to be finished for scale and new textures made. For the project I've made brand new track, which you can see, just needs finishing off and a few details changing. So far I'm very happy with Dolgoch's model. She seems to steam quite nicely, although I do need to finish off the particle effects. They haven't been done for her specifically yet, they're just my standard ones at the minute. As you can see, this is her 1945 livery, which is quite tired. It's covered in dirt, soot. The normally red buffer beams are nearly black. At this point in the railway's history, she was the main motive power, as Talyllyn had been run almost into the ground, sadly. And here we see the Fletcher's pattern motion, which is animated, and you can see moving when she's running. It doesn't move masses, but I think that's mainly for the size of the engine. But it is, as far as I can figure out, it is accurate to the real engine. Here we see coaches 1 and 2, which are mine. They just need finishing off. Obviously the door handles will be taken off. Here we see what I've got of the wharf so far, the toilets and the wharf bridge. I'm very happy with the bridge and I'm very happy with the toilets. I did feel a bit of a Charlie while I was measuring them up, and I did get a few funny looks, but people seemed to understand once I explained it. All of the engines will have active cab controls, which will be brand new, nothing reused, model from scratch. And I will be going for as much detail as game performance will allow. But even with all the details I've put onto Dolgoch, she seems to be running in the game really nicely, so that means I can try and squeeze in even more detail, which is good because as the 1945 model, there is still all the mod cons of later years to add on, such as loco and train brakes. Because at this point in time she only had a handbrake, I think. This is the famous Dolgoch viaduct, which was again measured accurately, and all the textures from this bridge are from photos that I took myself while I was at the railway. And I did not have fun measuring this because I'm afraid of heights, and as I had permission from the railway, I actually walked out onto the bridge and measured everything that I could get my mitts on. I'm very happy with how this model turned out. As I said, all of the textures apart from maybe the handrails are from the actual viaduct, and a little fact, not one of the sections of handrail have the same measurements. They're all 10, 15, somewhere along those lines different, apart from maybe 2 at one end. This isn't actually where the viaduct will end up, this is Pendray Yard, or will be, but I wanted to show the viaduct so I plonked it in. Here we see the old lady coming back into the wharf. One of my aims in this project is to show the line at different stages during its history, mainly when it was brand new in the 1860s, when it was getting run down in the 30s and 40s, and in the preservation era, after the new wharf building was built. As I said, this will not be a short project. I've been on it 2 weeks and I have done 2 bridges, 1 building and 1 loco, which I still have all the different liveries to create on it. But I hope you have enjoyed this short video, and please stay tuned for more updates.